Well, Ann Coulter, of course, the best-selling author and a great columnist. You can read her column, get her books. Just go to anncoulter.com. Make sure you follow her on Twitter, too, and just go to anncoulter.com. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Mark Simone?
I don't know. Every time they say President Biden, I get so nervous. It's a explain this to me. But you've written books about this. What is this liberal mentality that all their leader has to do is a symbolic gesture, like wear a mask? Oh, look what a hero he is! Or sign the Paris Climate Accords. They don't actually accomplish anything. They just make these gestures, and that's all it takes to keep their base happy. Why is that?
Well, I recommend that for part of your Monday show, you play part of, maybe you've already done this, play part of the press conference with the sainted Anthony Fauci yesterday. It was comedic how about 9 out of 10 questions were essentially, oh man, isn't your life better with Trump gone?
Well,
so yes, and the other thing to be said about the COVID business, I will say, Trump, in a wild reversal of his normal pattern, he actually did great stuff on the coronavirus, and just should have shut up about it. Usually, all he does is talk and does nothing.
Here she goes again.
But well, don't worry, he's gone.
Hey, but we did play the Fauci clips earlier. Here's a good example of what I'm talking about.
You see that? Great minds.
Yeah, and up on our webpage today, in fact, it's up on my Twitter, we have the video of Fauci in January, February, and March. He got everything wrong every step of the way. Yes. I could play this for a Democrat 1,000 times, and they'll still say, but he's great, he's great. Why is that? Why don't facts matter?
I love how you keep going after him on Twitter. No, you're totally right about that. But Mark Simone listeners, do not be fooled. Oh, my gosh, Biden has done a lot more than useless gestures. Oh, wait, one more point on coronavirus. His big plan is to get 100 million people vaccinated in the next 100 days. Yay! Oh, my gosh, finally. Okay, that's the exact pace we're on right now. We're already vaccinating. I mean, it got off to a slow start. Yes, it absolutely did. A lot of that was due to the states, so there's still a slow start in New York and, oh my gosh, California. But we're already vaccinating almost 1 million a day. I mean, it's like 20 short of a million. So Biden's plan that is being heralded as, thank God he's here, he's going to save us, is the exact same plan as what is happening right now under Trump. Okay, now, point 2, stuff Biden's already done. Throwing open the borders, moving ahead with amnesty. Oh, my gosh, they are pedal to the metal on amnesty. So much for Biden winning the nomination because of African Americans. And it was because of African Americans in South Carolina. Just to remind you all, Biden was dead. He was coming in like 5th in the first 4 primaries or caucuses or whatever. He was out of it. And then Jim Clyburn said, okay, everybody, we're all voting for Biden. And black people whose vote is not monolithic all voted for Biden, and that was all she wrote. So this is how he pays back black people, grants amnesty, and encourages hundreds of millions of low-wage workers to come to America to compete with blacks for jobs, attention, affirmative action, so on and so forth. But the main thing I'm dying to talk to you about, Mark Simone, is he has signed an executive order saying no school will get federal funding unless they allow men to compete in women's sports, i.e. the transgenders. This is the end of women's sports. This is the end. And
that's a good point. I mean, I don't mean to sound...
They're going to like that? Martina Navratilova is on Twitter right now saying, no, you can't do this. And that woman who wrote the books, who's the richest woman in the world? The British woman who wrote all those books, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'm blanking out, but I know who you mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's because neither of us have children. We don't read children's books to them, or we'd all know the author of Harry Potter.
Rowling's, J. Rowling.
Yeah, remember, she got in trouble for questioning the biological facts of transgenderism. And somebody, Scott McConnell, used to be at the New York Post, he just made, or retweeted somebody who made a fantastic point, and that was... you'd be able to convince people that what QAnon believes is false much more easily if you were not trying to convince us at the same time that biological gender does not exist.
Yeah, what happened to follow the science when it comes to who's a man, who's a woman? Follow the science.
This is the end of women's sports. There is no sport in which women can compete with men. And I mean, it's already happening. I think in Kansas, I think it's kind of weird that they have a girls wrestling team, but I think it was a girls wrestling team. And just year after year, some boy is winning the girls wrestling championship. It is the end. We've been talking about what coronavirus has done to athletes, these poor athletes training to go to the Olympics. It's over for females. And, that's a big part of, Ruth Barrett just had a great article that was then attacked by her editors because it was such a great article. Anyway, in the Atlantic about wealthy families in Fairfield County and what they're doing. Well, Ruth Barrett didn't put it this way, but basically to get around the fact that they're white people from Fairfield County and can't get into any Ivy League schools as a result. So they have to do something to stand out. So they're spending all this money on their kids' athletics and in unusual sports and building ice rinks in their backyard so their sons can practice hockey and gigantic Olympic-sized pools so their girls can practice diving and so on and so forth. Well, now the girls have nothing.
So,
and since we're on, all the great things Trump did, it was recommended to him, of course, hey, you should do something to protect women's sports here. It's going to be hugely popular. It'll be hugely popular with soccer moms. You got to do something. But Ivanka said, no, that is not consistent with the coalition we are trying to build.
Yeah.
So Trump did nothing about it.
We love Donald Trump. We love Don Jr. But let's be honest, Ivanka, I don't think she appeals to the normal middle of the country, heartland American. She likes to be a part of that elite crowd, and I don't think they're ever going to talk to her again. She's the one with the problem, isn't she?
Yes, a woman without a country, though I think you may have sort of exaggerated on we love Trump. Especially
we love Trump. I don't know about you, but you've gone wobbly, but we love Trump.
No, he went wobbly was the problem. And I don't know if you noticed, I came up with a fantastic suggestion for Mitch McConnell last night. I tweeted it to him free. I don't know what the Republican Party would do without me. He strikes a deal with Schumer and Pelosi. He'll get Republicans to vote to convict Trump in an impeachment trial in exchange for funding for a wall. Perfect. You can't get Trumpsters to be against that. And by the way, I don't know why Trumpsters should be against convicting. I mean, it seems a little weird to me, but apparently there was a case where an official out of office, he resigned specifically so that he couldn't be impeached. They went ahead and impeached and convicted him anyway. So it has been done. And if we don't, Trump is just going to keep screwing up the Republican primaries when we need to be looking for the next presidential candidate to run against Kamala.
I love Trump, but who is the next Republican candidate?
I hate saying this because politicians can change.
Yeah.
But I think I told you this last week. My two faves right now are the magnificent governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, whom, as long as I'm talking to New York, get this, New York, Florida has a larger population than the state of New York and a lot more old people. This is where New Yorkers come to retire, and yet half as many COVID deaths.
Yeah.
And the state didn't shut down. The Florida shut down for like 2 weeks, and then everything was open. Schools open, indoor dining open, everything's open.
Well, he's a great governor. I hate to say it, we're out of time, but everybody follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. Aren't you glad you didn't sign up for Parler? Follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. And get all of her books. If you haven't read all of the books, get anyone you haven't read, just get it. Just go to AnnCoulter.com, AnnCoulter.com. And Ann Coulter,
I'm recommending Mugged.
Oh, yeah, Mugged is a great book. It's very topical now. It's about crime. Get the book Mugged by Ann Coulter. Thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you next week.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
Right, take care.